Alright, hey guys. So today's video is gonna get pretty intense because I will be opening and closing multiple containers of various shapes and sizes. Yeah, I know what you're thinking. Multiple containers in one video? Is this guy insane? And it's just a risk I'm willing to take, so I'll get one of the containers. We're gonna start with the breadcrumbs Italian style container. Okay, enough of that. Actually, this video is less about the containers and it's more of a life update video because there's some relevant things going on in my life right now which indirectly affect the channel. So I guess you could call it a life and channel update video. And while I'm telling you guys about this, we will be, like I said, opening and closing containers as well as tapping. So yeah, let's, where do I begin? Well, I can start, I guess, by telling you guys the most relevant life change. And it's that your boy landed a job. Hallelujah. Yeah, like you guys probably have heard me say multiple times in my previous videos, I have been looking for a job. And any recent college graduate like myself knows the stress of getting a career after college, like actually getting your career started is it's kind of, you know, it's stressful. Honestly, the last few months of my life have been really different in the fact that I graduated, so I haven't had to go to school and I haven't had a job, which sounds great, right? And it is great for a few months, and then you start to feel really lazy, and then you're like, wait, I'm supposed to be like starting a career now and stuff, so probably should get started with that. So yeah, it's just a relief to know that I finally got a job. And it's just in time because my student loan payments are about to kick in. So I really needed that. And it's also good for me because you guys know by now I'm not an organized person. I hardly, plan anything out. It's just like who I am, but if there's one thing I have kept organized and planned ahead on, it's my career. It's just something I've always focused on. Even in high school, I knew what I wanted to do, and I went to trade school to, get certified before I even started college. And then, of course, when I went into college, I planned ahead and I said, hey, this is what I'm going to do. These are the classes I'm going to take. And I got out in the 4 years that I wanted to. By the way, that's just me. You can go to college for however many years you want. For me, I wanted to get out sooner, specifically because financially, I just didn't want to be there too long. I didn't have the money to keep going for years and years, so I tried to plan ahead, and I don't know, I'm just relieved that I can finally start my career. It's with a company that has a room for opportunity. So I can, of course, escalate my career, and I don't have to stay with this company, but it's nice to know that I can move up and not have to switch companies. So yeah, now I'm going to switch containers, and I'm going to tell you guys how this is going to affect the channel. So just a second. We're going on to the pumpkin. I know this technically isn't a container, but whatever. I didn't get to do a Halloween video because I didn't have time, and I was really bummed about that. So I'm going to use a pumpkin in this video. Are pumpkins fall or Halloween? Like, what do they signify? I don't know. But anyway, where was I? So this can be a good and a bad thing for the channel, for the short term. It will only affect this channel negatively for a little bit if it does. I don't know if it will or not, because I haven't been in a full-time job in a little while, and I have to get used to the routine. But also, I make ASMR videos for the most part at night. I still live with my parents, and basically during the day it gets really loud, and my parents don't know I make ASMR videos. That's a whole nother story. Imagine that. So between being secretive about it, like I tend to do, and needing quiet, I have to stay up really late to make these videos. And so that's not going to be a thing when I start my job, because I'm going to have to sleep at a decent hour. That'll be rough, because I can tell you right now my sleeping schedule is the weirdest and farthest thing from normal. So anyway, I have to fix that, and then that can be rough in the beginning. So I'm not saying it's going to affect my videos and my frequency of uploading, but it could for a little bit. So bear with me if that happens. But it can also be a good thing for this channel, and it will be a good thing, because I'm gonna be number one, making money, and that's always good. I can throw some more money into this channel. I would love to get some new equipment, like a binaural microphone, because that is a trend in the ASMR community, and I have not been able to keep up with that. So I would love to do the binaural thing, and then a really big one. I'd like to move out of my parents' house, which could perhaps be the biggest impact on my channel, because I can film anytime I want if I'm living on my own and not have to worry about who's in the house and who's watching me, because some of the videos I've done have been really difficult to keep a secret. It's kind of funny actually, because the videos where I've dressed up, like the hippie one, I've had to set up a whole green screen and lighting and everything and microphone setup, as well as dress up and film and take or retake, because I'll mess up and I'll have to take and take and take for a good shot or whatever, for a good take. So it takes a long time, and somehow I've gotten away with all of that. Nobody has caught me except for I was filming one time dressed as the nerd, and my mom came down, and I was like, she's like, what are you doing? And I was like, just being weird. And she's like, okay. And that was the only time they've ever caught me doing an ASMR video. It was really funny. You'd think I would just tell them and then, save myself the trouble, but I just don't feel like explaining the whole thing. So I, try to keep it a secret. So, yeah, those are the positive effects it could have. I'm going to switch to a different container. Let's do this one. I love this stuff, by the way. This is not a promotion. I don't know. Every time I see a YouTuber say they love something, they always follow it up with, I'm not promoting this. I don't know exactly why they do that, but I'm going to do it. Because I'm going to follow the trend or whatever. I am not promoting this. But I do. This is, if you ever wondered what I smell like, as if anybody's ever wondered that. But if you ever want to know what I smell like, it's this all the time. 24/7. This is it. Route 21. Black cologne. So I want to take this time to thank everybody who's been sending me nice messages and, dropping by my DMs on Instagram and whatnot. I really do appreciate all the support and just the, kind words that I get. And by the way, if you ever want to just message me and just drop by and say hi or anything, I love it. Of course, some people are messaging me and they end it with sorry if I'm bothering you. You guys never are bothering me. I love messages and I love reading everything. Please don't take offense if I don't get back to you. Sometimes I just get backlogged and I can't respond to everybody's message, so please don't get offended if you don't get a response. But yeah, thanks everybody for messages and whatnot. Okay, I'm gonna move on from this, and we're gonna go to what is perhaps my favorite spice. Anybody who knows me knows that I can't eat any food without my cream of tartar. I'm just kidding. I have no clue what cream of tartar is at all. If anybody knows what you use cream of tartar for, please let me know. I'm gonna smell it. Okay. That smells like a creamy tartar. I'm just kidding. I don't know what this smells like. It does kind of smell like cream, I guess. But what is tartar? What is that? Anyway. it makes good sounds, so I guess it's good for that, right? I'll read the ingredients as I tap, because maybe that'll hint to whatever this is. Wait. Oh, that's not ingredients. That's meringue for pie. I don't know what that means. I guess you use it for pie. I would not have guessed that. A lot of you chefs out there are probably like, is this guy an idiot? Everybody knows what cream of tart is. I have no clue. Find recipes for festive meringue cookies. It's for like desserts. I would have not have guessed that. I would have thought it was like for like meat or something. Okay, I was gonna read the ingredients, but of course there's no ingredients because it's just like a spice. What are the ingredients to a spice? So, never mind. Okay. I can never get through a video without my stomach growling or my bones popping or something. So, oh. Sorry for the extra noise. We're gonna move on to, oh, here we go. Got to be glued powder. Okay, I was reading the back. Yeah, it's not worth reading the label on this. I use this stuff like all the time, and I use it wrong. Like you're supposed to like put it on your hand or something, and I just dump it on my head. Yeah, a lot of what I do to my hair is not healthy, but I do it anyway. So, I don't know how everybody's Halloween was. Hopefully you guys had a fun Halloween. I'll tell you what happened on mine. So of course I went to Chipotle to get a $3 burrito. And I dressed up, and the line went clear out of the building. It was so long. And yeah, I waited 2 hours for a Chipotle burrito. Like that basically sums up my life, waiting 2 hours for a Chipotle burrito. But anyway, I waited in the line, and a few funny things happened while I waited. First, there was this really, what's a good word? Big man. Okay, it was just this really obese man, right? And he was dressed up, and he had one of those like superhero masks, and like it covered his eye, and it got pushed up and tangled, so it covered his eye, and he was like, like balancing and trying to keep himself up because he couldn't see. And right behind him there was this little girl dressed up as like a fairy or something, and this guy almost like backs into this little girl and trips over her, and I was like, whoa, this is so intense. It didn't happen, but I was like, how bad would that have been if this man would have just fallen on that little girl? So, thankfully nobody was hurt in that. And, also, randomly, these, like, group of high school aged guys walked in with, like, nothing but underwear on. And they were immediately escorted out. And I was like, what did you think was gonna happen if you walked into a public place barely clothed? Yeah, it was interesting. And then, of course, there were the people that cheated. Because, in case you didn't know, when you go to Chipotle to get the $3 burrito on Halloween, you have to dress up. And some people didn't even dress up. And then when they got to the front of the line, they took out like a piece of paper with like holes in it and put it over their eyes and was like, there, I dressed up. And then the cashier was like, oh, you can't get a $3 burrito for that. And they were like getting mad about it. And I was like, yep, you got a piece of paper and put it in front of your face. How is that dressing up? So, yeah, that's how my Halloween went. That is literally the only thing I did. Was go to Chipotle. I had this really good video idea that I wanted to do, but I just didn't have time. And instead of rushing it, I decided I'll just do it next year. It's really fun and a really cool idea in theory, so hopefully next year. Let's move on to the last item. So this one, I opened my fridge and reached into the very back and just grabbed the first thing I felt. And I'm not sure what this is, but it looks disgusting. I don't know if you can see that. It looks terrible. Pork hocks. Like, what even is that? And I'm afraid to open it because I'm afraid it's going to smell bad, but let's do that. I can't even get, oh, there we go. Okay. Oh, okay. It smells like, I know exactly what this, it smells like chicken and dumplings with dill pickles mixed up. That's what this smells like. I don't know who in my family eats this, but they're a disgrace and they need to leave our household. No, I'm just kidding. But this smells and looks so nasty, and I can't believe it was in my refrigerator. Our refrigerator. Yeah, that's terrible. I guess I can tap on it and read the ingredients so we can even figure out what this is exactly. Ugh, okay. I'll just read the nutrition facts. Total fat, 8 grams. Saturated fat, 3 grams. Trans fat, 0 grams. Cholesterol, 45 milligrams. Sodium, 750 milligrams. Total carb, 0 grams. Fiber, 0 grams. Sugars, 0 grams. And protein, 8 grams. Ingredients: pork, cured with water, salt, sodium erythorbate, and sodium nitrate. Yummy, you guys. That sounds so good. Packed in vinegar of all things. Yum. With salt and ascorbic acid. Okay, that sounds terrible. I don't even want to touch this anymore, so I'm going to put this down now. Let's see, I don't have any more containers. I'm sorry that we had to leave off with such a terrible trigger item. Pork hocks or whatever, but that's just the way we're going to have to end this video. So, thanks for watching. Like I said before, new jobs coming in a few days, so bear with me. I've got ideas, I've got more videos coming out. Yeah, there's not much more to update on, so I guess I'll see you in the next video. Bye.